Good Sunday morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. Along with my colleague John North, I'm your moderator, John Becker. Great to have you back with us in the saddle on this Sunday, and hope you enjoyed all the convention coverage of the DNC. We'll break that down with Susan Richardson Williams, who was riveted to the scene.
For all 7 minutes.
But before we get to that...
Well, I watched all of it, so...
Well, thank you, Don. We'll definitely get your thoughts on that. Dr. Bill Fox is back with us. He is an economist by trade, now a special advisor to Chancellor Donde Plowman at the University of Tennessee. And you have written the economic report for Democrats and Republicans who were governor of this state dating back to Lamar Alexander.
That's correct, yes. Well, and not just me, of course, a whole team of people.
And I'm going to explain why you're here, and that is because we are looking at the economy. You know, we spoke to Senator Bill Hagerty a few weeks ago, and he said, this election, meaning the presidential election, is going to turn on two issues, immigration and the economy. We brought on Dr. Fox to just talk about the state of the economy in Tennessee, the nation, and moving forward, what he expects. Nothing political from him. We're going to leave that to Susan Richardson Williams, who is a Republican and runs her own PR firm.
Good morning, John.
Good morning. And Don Bosch is a Democrat, runs his own law firm.
Good morning, guys.
So let's start with the state of the economy in Tennessee today, Dr. Fox. Healthy, not so healthy, in dire straits.
Tennessee is actually doing really well. Our unemployment rate is 3%. This is historically low. We've been bringing a lot of people, migration into Tennessee, among the fastest in the country. People want to be here. We're creating a lot of jobs in general over the last several years since COVID. GDP growth in Tennessee is the fastest in the nation over the past 15 years.
Let me rip through these other questions as well. Let's talk about the state of the economy across the country. Same?
The same kind of picture. Now, of course, what's getting all the attention is inflation. Job growth in the nation has been very strong. Now, if you remember, July's number wasn't as strong, and there's all this conversation about should the Fed raise the rates because of a little bit weaker job growth. But it's been really good in the post-COVID window. Inflation getting the attention, the rates coming down, but it's still high in our experience in the last several decades. And you think of most people in the country, they haven't seen inflation rates as high as we've experienced in recent years.
We'll dive into that in just a second. Let me just get this other thing on the table, and that is how much credit or blame does a president get for the economy?
Well, they are not getting more blame and credit than they deserve. The reality is, it's private firms that are causing most of this to happen. But what's happened in this post-COVID window, it has been consumers, like each of us, spending money. Our houses have gone up in value. The stock market has done well. Job creation's been good. And the government gave out a whole lot of money. Put all that together, consumers have driven a really healthy economy. But of course, that also created a lot of this inflation.
All right, we set the Sunday table. Susan, go ahead.
Well, you talked about all these people moving to Tennessee, and it's my impression, I've met some of these people. Some of the people I've met are conservatives that have left California, New Jersey, New York. Why are they coming to Tennessee? Do you think it's because we're a no-income tax state, because we have great leadership, Republicans are coming here? What are you seeing is happening? Why are they coming to Tennessee?
Well, the biggest share of them are people in their mid-20s to mid-30s. Keep that in mind. That's who migrates mostly. We hear the talk about retirees coming here,
right.
And there's some of that. I'm not saying it's zero.
I'm so glad that he's countering my point that I was just about to jump you on. Go ahead, Dr. Fox.
And a lot of people go where they do in that age because they think there's a job. But they're also looking for quality of life. Particularly today's young people, they're not going to go someplace they don't want to live, and so it tells you that this is a really good place to live. And if you look at where the population is growing, Knox County is a big
huge
part of the story. Now there's still a lot in Middle Tennessee, but Knox County has been very strong in terms of attracting people, and the counties around us, and so people come here. The university. Well, okay, so drive down the strip right now, and all you see are are
It's unrecognizable.
It's
unrecognizable.
Coupling Canyon, as I begin to call it.
Yeah.
No, exactly, but it's the construction that's going on. Think what this is doing for our economy to have UT grow from something like 29,000 or so students when Chancellor Plowman came here to 38,000 today, and we're going to keep growing. That means more professors, more staff, more apartments and dorms, and it's booming the local economy.
Are companies coming as well? Are we seeing that kind of an increase in corporations and businesses that are coming to Tennessee as well as individuals?
We are, of course, because they have to work someplace. And again, they're going to go where they think there's a job. Now, certainly around Nashville, and I mean that broadly, you've seen a lot of really big name companies already on their way there. We got a little bad news about the Blue Project.
I saw that.
In the last few days.
Delayed
It's going to be delayed or something. You know, electric car and truck production and sales is actually growing pretty fast. It's just not growing as fast as the companies thought it was going to. And so they're being cautious, and they need to be. They need to make money. But in the end, electric and autonomous cars are going to be where the world is. And if the U.S. doesn't keep up with them, the Chinese are going to do this. It's happening. It's just whether we want to be a part of where the world is going.
So, Dr. Fox, to touch on sort of the converse of what Susan was saying, I also talk to a lot of people that are coming here, and it's sort of what you have suggested, that they are younger, they are professionals, and they're coming to the urban areas. They're coming to downtown Knoxville, they're going to Chattanooga, they're going to Nashville to find better jobs, higher tech jobs. What was lower cost of housing, but unfortunately that's getting away from us a little bit. Yes. But my concern, I suppose, is what about, and I think back to the Volkswagen plant, and the need that Volkswagen had for post-high school skilled labor, not necessarily college degreed. Do we still seem to have a gap of either people migrating here for those kinds of jobs or a lack of talent in those areas? At 3% unemployment, it's hard to tell, but where is that need, or does it still exist?
So Tennessee is undereducated on national standards. This is particularly true of college STEM education. The share of our population with that kind of education and training is low. And ultimately, you pay a price in terms of lower wages if you don't have a highly trained labor force. And that's something we need to work on. It's something UTK needs to be playing a bigger role in my view. But we also do need a lot of people in the trades area. And this has been something that Governor Lee has really focused on in the 2-year schools and investing in them and the technical colleges, and we need both. And so the way to think about it is it's not an either or.
Right.
We have to have some really highly trained people at the upper end who will be our entrepreneurs, who will attract higher paying businesses, but we also have to have the people who can work at the VW plant. That was actually the first thing I worked on in Tennessee, was the location of that VW plant, and it's attracted huge amount. Sorry, it wasn't the first. The first was Nissan. I knew it was an auto plant. Sorry for confusing the two for the moment. And both of them have been much more productive in Tennessee than was promised to us at the time they were locating here. They've been good for Tennessee.
We're going to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee. Back with more John North's question. And also, what indicators does Dr. Fox look at in terms of the economy for what's coming? That's next.